While Dad recounted every detail of our journey to Mom, Monty, and I slipped away toward the forest. I had so many questions gathered in my mind that they felt like a heavy burden. Finally, we reached our secret sanctuary. I carefully parted the thick branches concealing the entrance, and we crawled into the very heart of the thicket. The stillness of the woods was broken by Monty's calm voice. I am truly glad that you and Mr. Goldstern have come to an understanding. He is a man of exceptional character, and I owe him a great deal. I learned much from him. These words caught me off guard. Had Monty actually undergone some kind of schooling? On second thought, I realized that such wisdom is rarely something one is born with. But why didn't you ever mention him before? I asked, settling into the grass. We had a gentleman's agreement to discuss only financial matters, the dog reminded me firmly. That's true, but surely you must have missed him. When the accident occurred, I believed my master was gone forever. There was blood everywhere, and he lay motionless. I was badly hurt myself. I crawled into the shade of the bushes and lost consciousness. When I finally came to, there was no sign of the car or the man. I never dared to dream that fate would bring us together again. Certain things were beginning to make sense to me now. However, Monty, like a true mentor, would not allow me to dwell on sadness for long. Now, he continued, let us return to the matter of money and not be distracted. If your curiosity remains, you may ask my master yourself during your visits. I wasn't particularly in the mood for financial talk after such a whirlwind of events. And I even thought of seizing the moment to ask how he could speak at all. But the doc was resolute. We must ensure your parents have as few financial worries as possible. But first, let's review your progress. How is your album of dreams coming along? I felt a flush of embarrassment. I had started it, but I didn't have the right photos of the laptop or San Francisco. So I decided to find them later. And then I simply forgot. Monty looked at me with a hint of reproach. And what about your visualizations? Your success journal? Did you write even a single entry yesterday? I had so many other things on my mind, I muttered. I was so terrified of losing you that I couldn't think of anything else. That I can understand, he replied softly, though his gaze still demanded discipline. Yet, that is precisely the blunder most often made by those who find themselves short of funds. Monty stated gravely, their lives are consumed by a multitude of urgent matters, leaving no room for the things that truly signify progress. But surely, I argued, nothing could have been more important than the risk of losing you. As I mentioned, I can sympathize with you in that regard, the Labrador replied calmly. But what of your excuses before your aunt arrived? You were so swept up in the delight of earning money by walking Napoleon that you let everything else slide. Monty looked at me with an air of great solemnity. On this matter, I shall grant you 3 vital principles. First, you must carry out your designs even when faced with adversity. When the sailing is smooth, anyone can hold the helm. It is only when genuine problems arise that the true worth of a person is revealed. He continued, his voice steady. Very few maintain their consistency and honor their resolutions in such times. Yet, those who have amassed great wealth are capable of working most actively when their troubles are at their peak. I paused, struck by a sense of familiarity. Where had I heard this before? Of course, Marcel. This was his second cryptic piece of advice. It seemed I still had a great deal to learn. Monty gave a subtle nod. Challenges will always be present, Kira. Nevertheless, you must dedicate time every single day to what is essential for your future. 10 minutes will suffice, yet your entire life depends on those 10 minutes. Most people remain exactly as they are because they cannot find that small window of time. They wait for circumstances to change, failing to realize that they must first change themselves. After a brief silence, he went on. Those 10 minutes are for your own transformation. I want you to vow that, from this moment forward, you will always make your journal entries and visualize your future. Every single day, no matter what happens. I raised my right hand and solemnly swore to do exactly as he said. Secondly, Mani resumed, you must fulfill these tasks even when things are going splendidly. When you secured your job, you were in such high spirits that you completely neglected your duties. You see, there are 1,000 distractions ready to lead you astray. Therefore, you must firmly set aside a specific time during the day for these tasks. I drifted into thought. It was hardly a simple request. By the evening, I would be far too weary, and the daytime was always a whirlwind of activity. That left only the morning. But surely that meant I should have to wake up even earlier. Do not forget, my dear, we are discussing a mere 10 minutes, Mani remarked. Reading my thoughts with his usual uncanny ease, I conceded with a nod. I realized, however, that this would be no simple feat. I resolved that I would rise 10 minutes earlier than usual, splashing my face with cold water to thoroughly banish the last remnants of sleep, before settling down with my journal. And one more thing, Mani continued, keeping my attention fixed. Do you know why you failed to find those photographs? It is because you did not adhere to the 72-hour rule. And what sort of rule might that be? I inquired, my curiosity piqued. It is remarkably straightforward, the dog replied. If you have resolved to do something, you must take action within 72 hours. Otherwise, the odds are that you will never actually get around to it. The spark will simply fade away. I drifted back into thought. There was clearly a profound truth in his words. How many times in my life had I crafted grand plans that ultimately came to nothing, simply because I had postponed them? Yet, the things I had actually accomplished were always those I started immediately. It seemed Mani was right yet again. And since he had a flawless record of being correct, I decided to follow his counsel to the letter. I made a firm resolution. From this day forward, I would set every one of my intentions into motion within the span of 72 hours.